Okay. First of all, thank you so much for taking time to come on. I know for some of you, Sunday it's a day for family. So I appreciate that everybody's on and coming to hear about our newest community that we're going to be helping promote and talk about tonight. Just hold on one second. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kim Bash. And when Corona hit, uh, is it 5 years ago now? Six? I can't even. I've tried to forget those years. Um, but we started a series called Find Me a Community in Israel because many people, as you know, the world closed down, Israel closed down, nobody could travel. And there were many, many people who were looking to move to Israel, but unfortunately couldn't come. And they still were allowing Aliyah flights to come in. Sorry, can people just mute themselves? Great. If you can just mute. So, what we did was we started the series called Find Me a Community in Israel, where we would interview people in the local communities and basically bring these communities to our audience online. And I'm very, very happy to say that during those years of Corona, people were still able to make Aliyah and quite a few to some of the communities that we actually showcased on our YouTube series. So, for those of you I know you're here to hear about Adam, but we also have a YouTube channel under Kim Bash, and you can find that we covered about 45 different communities. And then what happened was I run a real estate company, but as I told Avraham and people who know me, and those of you who know me, is that my the way that I work is that my biggest thing is bringing people to Israel and finding them the right place to live. I focus on community. I'm very much into saying that a house is just a house. But when you find your community, that's when you find your home. And I think that when you come into a place like Israel, it's very hard to figure out where to be. So we really try to explore different options for our clients. Today, for example, I was in Zichron Yaakov with clients, and we went to look at all the different neighborhoods. We really want to try and also bring affordable housing opportunities. And I know that's it's very challenging because Israel real estate is very expensive. It doesn't matter whether you're going to distressed locations closer to the border, things are still very expensive. So I think one of the most well, one of the hardest things that we find is to find affordable opportunities for people in welcoming Anglo communities. And when people say to me, well, we don't mind integrating into an Israeli community, that's okay. However, you do need to also be with some Anglos. I think it's very, very important because Aliyah has its challenges. And it's not just about speaking the same language, it's also culturally very different. So you do need that pocket of Anglos that will support you because if some of you don't have family, then you're relying on fellow Anglos to really help you build and support you when you're there. So I think that's very, very, very important. And no community, not everything's the same for everybody. And all of you on this call tonight may have different needs. So again, if this community is not going to work for you, then we can talk about other possibilities that may work for you. So the call tonight was initiated because I had put out a thing on Facebook on Nefesh B'Nefesh saying if anybody would like us to start our Find Me a Community in Israel series, please let me know. And we got over 100 comments from people that had seen my videos from our previous Zooms and said, yes, we're still looking to make Aliyah. We haven't made Aliyah, or we are already in Israel and we still have not found our place yet. So that is why we put this together. And I had seen that Abraham, David, and Sarah had been posting about Adam. And I thought, wow, that sounds like a really interesting and exciting opportunity. So we decided about, I think it was what, 2 weeks ago, not even, that we're going to start again. And I'm very, very happy to have people who are looking to spearhead and pioneer and take charge of building another incredible community in Eretz Israel. So thank you to both of you for coming on today. And I'd like you just to introduce yourselves.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm originally from LA and I lived a little bit in Seattle. I made Aliyah in 2014. We live now in Efrat and we're currently building in Adam.
Hi, I'm Avram David Solomon, Sarah's husband. Um, I'm originally from Montreal, but I grew up here in Israel, in Efrat. And I work in Jewish education and development of nonprofit organizations. Yeah, and we have four lovely kids.
One's here.
One is here, our youngest. Should we tell them a little bit about the...
Yeah, I would like to know from you guys because you're living in a very like a fantastic community right now. I mean, Efrat, if you know Efrat, guys, it's a great community, very warm. It's actually Efrat is divided up into seven different communities. And Sarah and Abraham David are living right now in Zayat, right? Zayat is very well
Correct.
known for Rav Shlomo Katz. For those of you who know, who's a quite a popular singer and very well known in Israel. And he actually like has a fantastic community in Efrat. And I said to Avram earlier, like, why do you want to leave Efrat? And so we can take it from there. You can take over.
Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, basically, I grew up in Efrat. I made Aliyah with my parents when I was a child, and there was a real magic in these hilltops growing up. It was a really nice place, you know, with the youth and my fellow members of the community. It was, and I guess I drew a lot of inspiration from the Shlomo Katz community that we live pretty close to. And as Efrat is now growing, and the prices are rising, it
Yeah.
feels like much more of a city and much less of a
Issue.
small yishuv like when I was growing up. We're kind of looking to recreate this magic, to find a nice tight-knit group of like-minded families, and kind of build something that's our own that we could
Share.
share, that we can kind of build a found family with. And of course, you know, create all of the
Perks.
opportunities, the perks, the infrastructure needed for a soft landing in Israel and, grow, build families, and just be happy a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Tell me, okay, so you guys bought in this new development, which you're going to talk about as well.
Correct.
And do you want to just talk a little bit about, we're going to have some other people who live in Adam now coming on to talk to you guys in a few minutes. But do you want to tell us what attracted you to the area?
Yeah, it's really close to Jerusalem. It's there's so much land and you could have like a farm right by Jerusalem outside in your backyard, a very holistic place. You can have really like it's really endless what you could do with all that land.
Right. While the era of standalone homes in Gush Etzion is kind of behind us, right
So,
in Adam, there's just so much building happening. Um,
and it's close to Jerusalem.
it's very close to Jerusalem, like right outside of Jerusalem,
Hmm.
and there's place for us to make ourselves a community. We spent two Shabbases there. The Gabbai of the Ashkenazi Shul um, sits on the regional municipality and has told us
Yeah,
that he is a big supporter of our cause, of the community that we're trying to build, and whatever we'll need in order to create the
he'll help us.
what we want,
Infrastructure.
a shul and infrastructure, and and he's gonna help us make all that
Yeah,
happen. So in general, it just feels like this,
a good opportunity to
yeah, endless
build
opportunity.
a nice like centric community.
Yeah,
No.
the
And
views are
where's the
stunning, the weather's
population
lovely.
right now? I know, I mean, we're talking about opportunity and building. So I know that Adam is mostly Israeli with a
Yeah.
Right.
pocket full of Anglo people that are there. That's probably why I mean, the prices are not cheap, but I'm saying it hasn't really exploded yet. I'm sure that
Now
you
it
know
is.
that in time that it will, but
It
right
also
now
makes it an
it's
excellent investment, by the way. The fact that it's the sort of place that will
grow.
Yeah.
like, but right now is still
They're
affordable.
also building a new road that will make it more safe.
Yeah, more accessible, straight from within the neighborhoods of Jerusalem to Adam through a tunnel, and also direct roads to Tel Aviv, to Modi'in, which will be a real game changer as far as the commute and accessibility to the rest of the country.
Hmm.
And tell me, right now, there's a high school and there's an elementary school and a high school. Is that correct?
Incorrect. There are Ganim as well as elementary schools. They have Haredi, Dati Leumi, and secular school systems. For high
Okay.
school, you would normally go either to Jerusalem because you're right there, so there's no shortage of any flavor of
Okay.
curriculum.
So it's not for what you're saying, it's not far, and anybody who's needing to go into Jerusalem would travel to Jerusalem for high school. That wouldn't be an issue.
Correct.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
if you're part of like the religious Zionist community and you have teenage daughters, so besides for Jerusalem, also all of the
Beit Av.
neighboring yeshuvim have serious ulpanot.
Mhm.
Okay, I understand. Okay,
Yes.
great. And in terms of like Macolets and shopping and all of that,
Not so much.
There's
There's a few shops.
a few shops, there's
Shops.
Makolet, there's
There is Shar Binyamin, which is 5 minutes away and by bus.
yeah, I've been past. I know where
and
that
over
is.
there
That's
there's
very close,
endless,
actually.
right?
Yeah, it's very close.
Giant supermarkets, bakeries, whatever you
Yeah.
dream
So
of.
you would need a car if you no, and not necessarily. Maybe
No, public
you could
transportation
get
is
by
yeah.
mostly with a bus, but it would be nice to have a car, I
Yeah.
feel like.
What is the so yeah, what is the transportation system like?
It
They
seems
say it's
Do you
okay.
know?
yeah, we
They
spoke
say
to locals.
that
They
you
live
can
by
use
it.
it.
Yeah, so I'm saying, but there are buses. I'm saying it's not like
Yes.
you can't find a local bus to get on to come to Jerusalem.
To Jerusalem, to the other yeshuvim, to
So
other
there's a bus every 20 minutes
yeah.
coming around, and towards the evening it's a half an hour every 40 minutes. But it will be really challenging to live there without at least one car.
Okay, who's speaking?
My name is Malky. I am with my camera off because I'm putting my kids to bed.
Oh, thank you so much. And you live in Adam?
I don't live in Adam, but I was really happy to see Sarah and Abram's post on Facebook because I just happened to purchase a plot there and I'm already building a house there.
Oh,
So,
fantastic. That's excellent news. Okay, wonderful. And where
so
do
I
you live
live
now, Melky?
in Tel Aviv.
Oh, that's a big change.
Tell me about it.
Are you doing this so you can get more like, space and
Well,
just
I'm happy to share here with the group. So when I started looking for a house, because I wanted to build a house, I looked specifically around a city so I can have the option of sending my kids to schools within the city. Maybe the schools in the Yishuv are good, but I always wanted to have an option. And I started actually looking around Modi'in, which is also very Anglo, but it was incredibly expensive there. And then I went further out around Jerusalem, and this is how I found Adam.
yeah,
But I'm not
that's
living
great.
there. But I really did check public transportation again, thinking forward. So hopefully my kids will be able to take, they're young now, but when they will, be older, so they'll be able to hop on a public transportation and won't expect me to chauffeur them everywhere. So transportation is good. There's every 20 minutes, there's a bus.
That's great. I think it's so important to be near public transport. I mean, I live, for those of you who follow me, I live in the old city in Jerusalem, and it's very stressful. I do have a car, but it's getting harder and harder to drive in Jerusalem itself. So having options for public transportation is really, for me, essential and a non-negotiable. So it's very important. I'm so glad to hear that it does. I mean, I looked up that it does have public transport, but it's good to know that it's reliable as well, which is excellent. And I wanted to introduce, hi Perry.
Hi, Perry and my wife
Hi.
Esther.
Hi Perry. Hi Esther.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you. So
Okay.
you live in Adam, correct?
We live in Adam. We've been here for how long?
16 years.
16 years.
It's a long time. Where are you both from originally?
Well, I'm from New York. Perry is from Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, I didn't catch the accent.
It's there a little bit.
A little bit.
But we don't own a car, and we've managed to live here. Of course, we don't have any little children going to school, so I'm sure it's very different. Where, Perry works from home and I'm retired. And when I did travel into Jerusalem, we found the public transportation was fine. It's actually improved over the years we've been here. So every 20 minutes you have a bus, more or less, depending
Yeah.
on the time of day, of course.
And time of year. For example, during Ramadan, the frequency of the buses drops because,
There are less drivers.
because there are less drivers. But that seems to be a common pattern, not just in this area, but
They're all Brits or South
elsewhere.
African. They all speak with the same accent.
Who was
We
that?
do
Who
not.
was
We
that?
do not. Anyway, so the point is that
Can I ask
you have to
everybody
take
to
it into
please
account.
mute themselves? Hold on one second. Let me just mute. Hold on a second, everybody. Okay. Okay.
We live actually near the shops that so far exist. So we're very convenient for Kupat Cholim. There are two Kupot that actually operate here, Mouchedet and Clalit. For those who are living overseas and are not familiar with the Israeli health system, you basically become a member of one of four Kupot Cholim health funds that I suppose that you'd call them HMOs in America. And the idea is that all of your services are done through that, and it's paid for out of basically out of I suppose a levy on your income.
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. We're members of Mouchedet. They have they take blood here. You don't have to go into Yerushalayim to have blood taken or other tests. And a number of specialist doctors do come here on rotation, every week or every 2 weeks. So it's a useful thing to know, that we're quite well served for that from that point of view.
How close is the nearest hospital? You'll come into Jerusalem for the
nearest
hospital?
hospital is Hadassah Har HaTzofim.
Oh, okay, fine.
So, if necessary, there's there's ambulances, or if you don't need ambulance service, then there are taxi drivers here, who live here and work here, and it's useful to have their numbers to have access to them. But some of the companies will send taxis out to pick someone out here, pick someone up from here, take them into Yerushalayim as well.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry, just rewinding a
sure.
little bit. I'm always interested to know, because this is what I do every day, is what made you decide to live in this community?
Okay, so when we started to look, we were renting for the first quite a bit of our married life, and when we started to be able to look for something to buy, we looked in Yerushalayim. We looked in Ramot, where we were living. We looked in Pisgat Ze'ev, and we found that what was available for what we could afford wasn't large enough for what we needed for our family at the time. And so we looked at some of the yeshuvim around here. We looked in Kochav Yaakov at a couple of places. We looked. We thought about places a little further out. We looked at quite a number of places here in Adam over a period of about a year before we actually made an offer for this place. Our place is actually in the older section of Adam, which is the people who were the first settlers here, who built their own houses and then as they got older, they decided, some of them split their houses into
Gilma-
two partners,
two family, yeah.
parcelizing the lot. So we actually are basically signed on a half of the lot and our floor of the building, which is good. So we have our own property. It's definitely gone up in value over the years, fast, you know, and as Avram David mentioned, you know, buying now in Adam, while the prices are higher than what we paid, it's still, I think it's probably still a good investment, as well as it's a good place to
For
raise
sure.
kids. What else could
Perry,
I
I'm just
think
going to
of?
stop you for 1 second. So sorry. I'm going to come back to you because Miriam has kindly come on, who's also somebody who lives in the community. And she said to me she only has 5 minutes because she's at a parents' teachers meeting. So I hope it's okay. I'm so sorry to
That's fine.
interrupt you, but she was so gracious to say she's going to step out of her parents' teachers meeting just to come and say hello to you guys. So Miriam, where are you? Is she on? Where is she? Hold on 1 second.
She's on mute. Yeah, you need to unmute her.
Oh,
She-
I've got to, she can unmute herself, no? Hold on
Okay.
1 second.
Oh
She
yeah,
should be
you're
able.
right. Here, I'm over here. I'm listed
Oh,
under
hello. Thank you so much for
Avram
coming
Salomon
on.
for some reason.
It's okay, no problem. Okay, this is the lovely Miriam who helped organize and also asked Perry to come on, and Vered, I'm not sure if she's on. And I know that you are. Thank you so much for coming on. I know it's a little pressurizing, but if you could just say hi, introduce yourself, and why do you enjoy living in the community?
Sure. So yeah, so my name is Miriam. We've been living here for 10, 11 years or so. Mother of 5 beautiful children, and I'm a music therapist. I'm mטפלת רגשית. We came to live to Adam for a number of reasons. We wanted to have a place that really was more Israeli. We didn't want to be in like a place that was too much like just all American, you know, just all English all the time. We really wanted a community that was mixed, religious and not religious. That was something that was important for us to feel like all of Am Yisrael is coming together. We like the location. It's a great location near Yerushalayim, near where the grandparents live. We're both lucky that our parents made Aliyah after us. So we
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
be here.
Amazing.
Mamash. And love the views, love the area. Like it's really like Mama, it's so close to Yerushalayim. So it's like it's this extra, it almost feels like an extra community right outside of Yerushalayim. And just having that proximity was so nice.
Oh, hold
Yeah.
on.
So yeah, I got it. So it felt like it just it clicked a lot of the boxes of what we were looking for. Yeah.
And tell me about, you've got 5 children, Baruch Hashem. Where are those kids going to school? Tell me a little bit about the schooling.
So so yeah, we've basically been through it all. You know, when we came, our oldest was in Gan, and now he is 11th grade, which is so crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, so basically they have there's 3 schools here. There's the non-religious, the Dati Leumi, and Haredi. We were basically like in the Mamad system throughout. So they went to the Gans here. Some of our kids went to the Haredi Gans, some of the kids went to the Mamad Gans. And then when for the main schooling, 1st through 6th grade, everyone was here in the Yishuv. We're like 5-7 minute walk away from school. And the school's a great school. I really do enjoy the school a lot. Like everything has its pluses and minuses for sure. But you know, they just won an award for like the best school in Yerushalayim
Really?
and all the surrounding areas. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, so like I know from other Yeshuvim sometimes they also send. And
Do they have Hasaot? Do they pick them up or you drop them off in school in the morning?
I mean,
They
my
wa-
kids at this point walk to school, or you know, sometimes I can drop them off sometimes if I'm feeling nice or if the weather's really not good. But but in general, like they can walk to school.
And they made friends. I mean, they were born in Israel, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so they made friends. They basically are Israeli. They are Israeli.
They are, although shockingly they're very American. It's very everyone who meets us is always very confused by it because me and my husband like we're totally fluent. We work in Hebrew and everything, but our kids are all like very American. And they all speak English fluently and they prefer speaking English over Hebrew. So it's pretty funny. But
And do
yeah,
you
but
commute for your
obviously they know
do you
Hebrew
commute
and
for
they're
your
fluent in
job?
Hebrew
Do
also.
you commute with your work, or do you stay in
Yeah,
Adam?
so I have a clinic in Adam that I work in 2 days a week, and then I also commute 3 days a week. And I work it in somewhat nearby, Kfar Adumim, so it's like 20 minutes, a half hour away. Yeah, so was there another
And your
question? Oh, yes.
husband
What
is
I want to say
working?
about my
What is your
children with the schooling, what I'll say about them
Yeah.
is that I do have friends though, quite a number of people we can say in the community, people who the schooling here, it's not matim for them. I know people send out to Yerushalayim or neighboring Yeshuvim. There really are obviously a lot of options. So that's from all across the spectrum, I know of a lot of people who send out to different places as well. Like I know a lot of people who are in the yeshuv and are happy with the yeshuv, but also people who send out. And then once you're past 6th grade, then you have to send out. So our son went to a school in Beit El, and there with Hasaot. Like there are different schools that are the set schools that have to take anyone from Adam, and there's set
Follow the
Hasaot.
school that they go to after
Yeah,
they
that
finish
well,
wherever the
that is like
elementary.
consider the automatic school if you choose not to go anywhere else. And the school has to take you, and there has to get there. It happens to be so for my son, we did choose to send him there for 7th and 8th grade, and now for high school, he's going to a place in Yerushalayim, a yeshiva there. And then for my daughters, so far they didn't go to the feeder school, I would say. They chose to go somewhere else. But so far, both of the schools they chose, and they both chose different places for middle school. They also had hasaot, so that was great. So like in general, there are a lot of hasaot options. I'm sure you can find places that don't have hasaot, but I'm saying that there definitely are like a lot of things in the surrounding neighborhood, a lot of the yeshuvim in the surrounding neighborhood, you can definitely get hasaot to go there as well.
So
So
for
it's great.
those of you who don't understand Hebrew, a hasa'ot is like a little bus that
Yeah.
picks up the children. It's
Big
like
big
smaller than a
buses,
school bus.
honestly.
Oh, they
They're
are
they're
big?
regular size
Okay.
buses. Oh yeah, they're
Oh, they
they're
are?
stuffed.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's great.
Oh, I wanted to say
And
one more thing about one of the things I liked with Adam also. I have to say, it's a flip side. I always liked small yeshuvim that everyone knows each other, but I also always felt like it could make me a little bit claustrophobic, and I liked going to a place that was very large. Every day I can meet someone new. And just walking around, like it's a large yeshuv, there's lots of different places you can walk, and it's really beautiful views. But at the same time, I also put that down as something you should know if that's meant for you. Like if you want that small, tight-knit community where everyone knows you when you're walking down the street and everyone's super friendly, Adam's not like that. Adam is called a Yishuv Ironi. It's like a city Yishuv. So if like anyone can move to Adam who wants to move to Adam, it is one of the very few Yishuvim in all of Israel that does not have any type of process for accepting anyone. Anyone who wants to
wow.
come, comes. I don't know honestly of any other Yishuvim that are like that. So it's just, it's everything has its pluses and minuses, and I think you just have to know if that's like what you want.
It also gives you the ability, if you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous. If you want to be part of something, you can
Yeah.
be part of something. You can be as involved as you want to be. And I think
For
that's
sure, but
also
you have to decide
something.
if you want to be part of things. I'm saying like there's some
Correct.
places you don't, everyone who walks in is going to get a welcome basket and like an adopted family. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not, it's a large place. And if you want to be involved, you definitely can be involved. I mean, when I walk down the street, I certainly know a lot of people, and like a lot of people, because I am someone who's involved. So I definitely know a lot of people, but you have to, it's your decision for sure.
And can I ask you, I know you got to go, so just one last question. In terms of like, I know that it's a mixed community and a melting pot of all different types of people. In terms of like Torah learning and religious institutions, like, is there like, you're going to have minions 3 times a day. There's going to be options for people who are from, all different religiosities. Is that correct from what I
For
from what
sure.
I understand?
For sure. That was also, I will say, one of the things that we liked about Adam, because there are other mixed yeshuvim that we felt that were, I don't know, it's like idealistically mixed in a sense, and everyone who came, they really wanted that experience. And what we felt like with at least some of these yeshuvim, what ended up happening was the people who came who were quote unquote not religious, or the people who quote unquote were religious, everyone a little bit more were similar to each other. So the people who were more religious got to be a little bit less. The people who were less religious, you know what I'm saying? Everyone sort of comes together more. And in Adam, it feels like everyone really is holding in their own space. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
So
everyone
it's a very
who
accepting community.
it's accepting, and at the same time, like, you know, if you are not religious, you really can have your own niche, and if you're Haredi, you really will have a Haredi niche. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone can really get that own niche, and not in that sense, it's not like a melting pot. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it does. You can really like, and you can choose to
You can
preserve
find your place.
where you're at also, and it's
And there's,
yeah.
I see as well, there's like programs for the kids as well. There's, I think, B'nai Kiva, there's Ezra, or is it B'nai Kiva? Just B'nai
There's
Kiva? I'm
B'nai
not sure.
Akiva, and then for the non-religious, there's also something, I don't know what it's called.
Okay, but those are the youth groups that meet on Shabbat and during the year
Yeah,
every week, right? They meet
yeah,
for
yeah,
activities and get-togethers. Okay, which I think is an amazing, by the way, thing for the kids, especially when you are new olim, which is hard to start that, you know, having that circle of friends, which is so important as well when you're
yeah,
first coming there. So
yeah,
Miriam, thank you so much. I know you're busy
100%.
and I know I took you out of your school
Absolutely.
meeting. I hope the kids are getting good reports. I dread going to those meetings. Anyway, but thank you so much. And I know that Miriam's been very kind also to Avram, David, and Sarah, and been very welcoming to them. And so if anybody is looking, I will obviously, with your permission, you know, give numbers out if you allow.
Yeah,
As with
100%.
Perry, we'll come back onto Perry as well, and
100%. I've always
his
said I'm
lovely
happy to
wife.
talk to anyone also private if anyone wants to talk to me, and I can answer more questions, and 100%.
Amazing. Thank you so much. God bless and Shana
All
Tova.
right,
Thank
Yofi.
you.
Shana
Thank you for
Tova to
coming on.
everyone.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, Perry, I'm sorry I cut you off there. So I
That's
wanted
fine.
to ask you and your wife, do you have a nice group of friends?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
yes. I mean,
I mean, you find that, I mean, obviously you're from New York, you're from Australia. Did you find that it was very culturally different for you to acclimate to living amongst so many Israelis?
Well, we've both been here quite a long time, so it's not like we just came on Aliyah last week. We've been here at least 30 years, so we've lived among Israelis.
Are you both fluent in Hebrew
Yes.
by
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we lived in Jerusalem for many years, both of us, and then we got married, and we lived together in Jerusalem for years. So it's not like we're not used to Israelis. So it's not really a kind of question that you're looking for somebody who just came on Aliyah and came to a place like this. I'm not sure if it would be the same kind of reaction. But we do find that these days most Israelis do speak Hebrew. It's
English.
I mean
English,
English.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
brain. Okay, speak
It's okay.
English, and maybe not on the mother tongue level, but we'll be okay in communicating with you and helping you out if you need any kind of assistance. As far as Shurim, why don't you discuss
Okay,
that?
so just in our area, because there are different parts of the Yishuv, it's down to the area where I think where I'm not sure where Avram David and I'm sorry I didn't catch your
Sarah.
wife's name, Sarah. That goes well, Avram and Sarah.
Yeah.
Are you building in Adam Mizrach, or are you building on the new on Sderot Adam?
No, we're building along Sderot Adam, the main.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeshiva.
So the point I want to make is that the yeshuv is sort of somewhat stretched out, in one direction, similar in some ways to Efrat, but Efrat's of course much bigger. I've quite a few friends there, but so there are Bate Knesset in different parts, and there are different kinds of Bate Knesset. We have been lucky to get in with Beit Knesset Nachlat Binyamin, which is around the corner from us. I think we are actually the members of the shul who were closest to the shul, physically speaking. And we have but there's also a Sephardi shul right next door. Two Sephardi shuls actually near, right near us. So tefillot every day, not a problem. You'll definitely catch. You have your choice of minyanim, shiurim, regular shiurim in all of the Batei Knesset. Our shul has 2 daf yomi shiurim, for example,
Wow.
as well as during the summer, Shabbat afternoon after mincha, there's a shiur. There's the shiur after tefillah on Shabbat afternoon, Dvar Torah, on Friday night. What else? Yeah, the other shuls, have similar. There's, between Mincha and Arvit in the Sephardi shul. What's interesting is that our Ashkenazi shul has members with names like Sharabi and Matalon and so on. We mix. We don't say this is the shul I go to and this is the shul I don't set foot in. This is the shul I go to now, and that's a more convenient minyan for me. I'll go there. I'll go there for Arvit tonight instead of to the 8:30 minyan, for example. So we're actually we do feel connected with each other beyond the specific membership of one or other
Of that particular shul.
Yeah, and that that applies across the board. Yom Ha'atzmaut, for example, it's become the custom that we combine the 3 minyanim near here. We all daven together for
I love that.
Yom Ha'atzmaut in the evening.
That's really
It's very
special,
nice,
by the way.
and
That's really lovely.
And we do that. What else can I mention? During the summer, we try to run programs. Limud. There'll be a later minyan for the youngsters who don't want to particularly get up early. There'll be a later minyan during the week, followed by a shiur with a snack and something. So the youngsters get the feel that Limud Torah is part of what we do. It's part of what we're involved in.
And there's a children's minyan on Shabbat for the really little ones. I think up to about age 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, so it gives a chance for the mothers to also come to shul.
Yes,
which is nice.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Which was a lot of people from out of Israel are used to, is having that, like having somebody to help with the children's service, which is really special and amazing.
Right.
So I think that one of the things that appealed to me when I was looking at this with Avram and Sarah is that I felt that there's so much warmth already in the community, and I think that there's a lot of potential that people don't know about Adam. And I think that if you're looking for more space and more nature and a little bit more just Hamish, if you want to use the word, then this could be a great opportunity for people. Again, people have to come. I think it's so important that you check it out. Why we started this whole series in the beginning was that, you guys started in Jerusalem, I think, but most people know for the Anglo, and I'm not saying Adam has to become Anglo, but it is nice to have Anglo-speaking people, is that most people, when they're coming, they're thinking Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Efrat, the Gush, Runana, Netanya, and those places, the hubs are very expensive, and it makes it really hard for people to afford, to buy or even rent sometimes. So I think that this is part of what we're doing and trying to do, is making Israel accessible and opening opportunities to people. So I can't thank you enough for coming on, and I really, really appreciate it. And I'd love to get your numbers later on, if you can send them to me on WhatsApp or find me on Instagram or Facebook and send them to me, maybe through Miriam. And I appreciate so much that you guys took the time to talk to us.
If people want to contact us, we'll
sure. Do you want to? If you want, you can send me your number on the chat. Of Rami, who works with me, you can send it on our group chat, and we can put it out to the people on the call, if that's with your permission.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Sure. Do you mind introducing yourself first?
Hi, yeah, my name is Esty McNews. We were just looking into it. I was just wondering, is it like a safe place to live?
Good question. Who wants to take that question? Perry? Oh,
Okay, so we have been actually very fortunate in that with missiles from the north, missiles from the east, missiles from the south, we've actually had probably the least number of times that the sirens have actually sounded and had to go to into shelters. We somehow fall just beyond the range of of some of them. So from that point of view, yes. Look, like all parts of Eretz Israel, you have to keep your eyes open and know what's going on around you, and be aware of what's happening. But overall, this is a relatively safe area, and certainly sometimes we become a little bit complacent, but they've recently started up a local, I don't know what they call them call it, but
like
it's
a security watch, like a community
yeah,
watch.
a community watch of some sort. That's in addition to the Kitat Konanut, which has been around for a while, and and every so often we'll get messages on the on the Yishuv WhatsApp that there's a Targil tonight, that there's a training exercise tonight, so you'll see a lot more movement of military vehicles and whatever. So don't be alarmed; it's just training, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think certainly we're aware of our surroundings, and that's probably that's what you have to do, how you have to approach things.
Listen, I want to point out to people as well, and I think it's very important when you're living in Israel, you've got our cousins, our Arabs, all over you. It doesn't matter where you go. In Jerusalem, I live in the old city. People tell me, how can you live in the old city? It's so close to the Muslim, I'm literally 2 minutes away from the Muslim quarter. You can live anywhere. We have to be careful wherever we go. That's just part, I think, of living in Israel. So I don't think that, Adam is a little bit further out, but they do have security. Most of the moshavim, yeshuvim, kibbutzim, all have, people in the community that are, working with the community to keep it safe. We have in the old city a community watch as well. I know in the Gush they have it as well. Everywhere you go, basically, it's part of living here. Whether that's just the reality of living in Israel. So I guess we have to all be careful. Avraham, you chose to live. Efrat's the same, right?
Yeah, and
Same.
if that is the place to be. So
But
and-
Miriam said something very interesting, that we're all afraid of somebody else's Arabs. We're used to our Arabs, they're used to their Arabs. So it's interesting.
right, like once you get familiar with where you live, even the initial the neighbors don't really seem that frightening.
Tim, it's
Uh,
Carol. May I ask a couple of questions?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Esty. Who wanted to ask questions?
Karel. Tim, it's Karel.
Oh,
Hi.
hi. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, all is
Why
well.
don't I see you?
May I ask
I
a
don't
couple of
s-
questions?
Yeah, with pleasure. Who's your question directed at?
I'm not sure. You channel it. First is a financial question. How big of a house can one build there? Square meters, and is land still available? And again, how big can it be? And roughly, what are the prices we're talking? And then I have
Okay,
a
so
follow-up.
Sure. So we're going to talk about the presentation tonight, which we haven't got to. We had to actually keep on going because we're running a little bit behind schedule. We're going to talk about one particular project that we are helping to market, the same project that Avraham and Sarah brought in. there are opportunities for particular land plots if you want to buy. That's a different, we have to look into that for you. How we work is with our clients is that we source properties and opportunities for our clients. So if you're looking to build a house, private house, then we have to look for land for sale. And then there's something called zoning. And the zoning depends on the size of the plot. So an average house, it really depends on the area that you buy in. And the land also may not have permits yet to build. So you'd have to also apply for permits to build. It's a little bit more complicated. We can talk about it privately, maybe over the phone. But average houses there are anything from, I would say, anything from 180 square meters, which is about 2,000 square feet, to about 350, which is about just under 4,000 square feet. And the cost of building is obviously depending on who you contract and get. So it's not so easy to get permits in Israel to build. It just depends on where in which part of Adam they are. But there are plots available. But a lot of what's happened now with the free plots, the larger plots are being taken over. The developers are building there. So you've got companies that are building. There may be particular land plots for sale. We'll have to look into it for you. Does it answer your question?
Sort of, but yeah.
Well, I mean, no, it's not an answer.
Yeah.
We'll have to look
Yeah.
into it for you. We're going to present tonight an opportunity that may or may not fill your needs. And I believe in all our talks that we do, we always bring at least one opportunity to the table. It doesn't mean that's the only opportunity. It's just that we have a limited time and we can't present every single opportunity there is in the neighborhood.
Correct.
So if you are looking for a particular thing to build your own house, then that is something you can speak to me about privately and we can see what we can find for you.
And then is anyone qualified to speak about the neighboring place, Anatot Almon? We visited it, super nice. I'm not sure if it's religious at all, but does anyone on the panel have any comments about Anatot/Almon, which is across the valley from Geva Benjamin, and also maybe they can comment why it's confusing branding. Why do cities have double names there? Why is it Adam and then Geva Benjamin? Why is it Anatot and Almon? In corporate, you never use double branding. It confuses the customers. So why not have just one name for the cities? That's just a parenthetical comment, but Anatot,
it's an interesting
Almon.
question. I have no idea, but
Okay.
I know that is common.
Let me try to answer at least about Geva Binyamin or Adam. The first people who settled here wanted it to be called Adam because after Yekutiel had Adam, who was a high-ranking officer, I don't remember if he was Ramatkal or deputy chief of staff. Point is that these are people who had some sort of connection with him, probably in the military, and they wanted to give him, honor him. Honor his memory. Problem is, there's an official committee for place names that applies, that makes these decisions, and you can't just pick the name yourself. So, and they decided that this should be called Geva Binyamin, based on the fact that there was a Geva in Binyamin mentioned in Sefer Yoshua. I think it's also mentioned in Shoftim somewhere. The point is that it was somewhere around in this area, and they felt that this was an appropriate name. So what happens is that some people call it Adam, some people call it Geva Binyamin. When we went to get our mortgage, there's every yeshuv in every town has a housing ministry code. Well, guess what? The same code for both of them. So it doesn't matter what you call it, it's the same place, and it's known to be that. People either know the place or they don't know the place. But I can't speak as far as Anatot Almon. What sometimes happens is that two small places, start developing, right at the beginning, and they sort of coalesce, and so the two names sort of coexist. That happens, I think, I think in the Gush there's at least one place like that that I know exists, but I just don't remember which pair of names it is. But there are places that started off, two separate places, sort of grew and coalesced, became sort of one community, but people use both names.
So as far as I know about, and we really go on demand of what people want to hear about. So I haven't had people really ask me about that particular community, but I know that it's mostly, if I'm correct, I think I'm correct, it's a very Zionistic community. That's really what I know about it. I think very similar to Adam. I don't know, but
anything
that's, I don't know.
about the people
That's
there.
what I know about it. It's very small, but it's the same kind of hashkafa, if you want to say. I don't know. It's small though. It's not big. I can look into it for you as well, and I can give you probably people that live there. We can find people that you can talk to. So what I want to do is Vered on the call?
Thank you.
Thank you. Vered, are you on the call? I don't know if Vered has come on. Okay, so what we're going to do, because we're running a little bit behind schedule, we prepared a little presentation for you. It may not be applicable for everybody, but we just wanted to give you just a quick lowdown of buying a home in Israel, what that means, how to choose a community, and then we're just going to cover a little bit about this particular, as I said, for every call we do, we always bring a real estate opportunity to the table. It does not mean that it's for you. It just means we're giving you an opportunity that is out there right now. But every single person is going to have a different budget and different needs, what kind of house you want.
And we're going to say good night.
Okay,
Thank you so
Perry,
much
thank
for
you,
your
thank you
time.
so much to both of you.
Well,
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, we'll send you
Oh,
our contact
yes,
details for
please, and
people to
take
use.
care. Thank you so much for your time. Much
You're
appreciated.
welcome. Bye-bye.
And who said that Australians and South Africans sound similar? I think we sound nothing alike. I'm just teasing. There was a comment there that somebody didn't turn off their mic. Anyway, okay, so Avrami, this is Avrami, everybody. Avrami works with me and helps me. And for those of you who don't speak Hebrew, I just want to share a little embarrassing secret. I do not speak any Hebrew. So it's not good, guys. I know, but it's been a long time already, and I'm just over it already. So you can
That's
live
where
in
I come
Israel
from.
without speaking the language, okay? But I'm not very good at languages. When I was doing Orpan, I was pregnant and spent most of my time throwing up in the bathroom in Orpan. So I kind of can't just never end up finishing it. And my kids are fluent in Hebrew, and I've got people like Avrami who work with me who are Israeli / Canadian, who help me with any translations and help that I need. So Avrami put together this presentation, and again, this is just an overview, and we can talk more about it, but we're trying to keep on schedule. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. Okay. Start. Okay, for those of you who do follow me or don't follow me, I like to call myself not a real estate agent. I call myself a property and community matchmaker, because I really do believe, as I said before, that it's not about the house, it's really about the community. In order for you to find your place in Israel, you really need to find where you're going to fit in. Okay. A little bit about myself is that I'm from South Africa originally, but I actually made Aliyah from New York. I was working in the nonprofit world for the UJA Federation. I was living on the Upper West Side and grew up completely secular. And I started to attend classes on the Upper West Side. For those of you who know Aisha Torah, it's a Kiruv outreach organization. And I started to go to classes, and somebody suggested I go on a trip to Israel. And as we say, the rest is history. I met my husband here. Actually, I just have to tell you, rewind. When I was 18 years old, I came to live on a kibbutz for 1 year and had a great time traveling around. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm never going to live in Israel. I don't really like the Israelis. Anyway, a lot has changed since then, but I was always very Zionistic and would never think of leaving Israel or living anywhere else in the world. So, and I got into the real estate business because I really wanted to help Olim. And I really wanted to find and help them find affordable housing opportunities. So that was really how it all started. Okay. I always ask my clients, you know, we get a lot of people looking to buy in Israel. And my first question to every one of you on this call tonight is, what is the goal of your purchase? Even if you're not, maybe you're going to be renting, but if you are thinking of purchasing, is it going to be for aliyah, an investment opportunity, or a holiday home? And then we talk about location, like what is it that you're looking for and where you want to be? And that is going to depend upon what the goal is. Again, right now, a lot of people that I'm seeing, instead of buying, people who have homes in America and are not looking to make aliyah right now, they may look for an investment. So instead of buying in Florida or some holiday home, they would look to actually purchase now in Israel. Another thing we have to talk about is your budget. Israel is expensive and it works a little bit differently. Buying in Israel is not the same as buying in America. And we'll cover that a little bit as we go along. And generally what I tell people is that look for a local agent. We have a team of people that we work with, that we partner with. And I've built up a huge list of amazing people who are locals in particular neighborhoods that we work with that I can refer you to. If one of the projects that we offer you is not good for you, we can refer you to a local broker on the ground because they know the area better than anybody else. We also introduce you to lawyers. You do need a real estate lawyer if you are going to be purchasing in Israel, as well as a mortgage broker. We have Svi on the call. Svi, you want to say hello?
Hi, everybody. It's Svi
Hi.
Glulim. I'm a mortgage broker with the Mortgage Israel Company. We've been doing this for Olim for over 20 years, but I'm actually here not for business. I actually am very interested in Aram, the fact that it is near Jerusalem, but not Jerusalem. Not a big community, not a small community. It literally checks every single box that we have, and we're going to be checking it out for a Shabbat.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Great. I'm so glad you came on.
For sure.
Okay, so Avraham, I'll connect you guys together as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
And basically what happens is, you know, we help you from the start to finish. When you purchase the home, we help you. The lawyer sets up the contract. There's a whole signing, and then you buy your property and we say mazel tov. But that's a whole different talk. We're just giving it very briefly. Okay, next up, Avrami. Okay, finding your community. So this is the question I get asked so much. I really want to make aliyah. I want to live in Israel, but where am I going to live? We don't know what fits our family. So this is part of what we do. Free consultation. You can call me, we can set up an appointment, and we can really hash it out. And this is going to really depend on, you know, each individual family. You know, what kind of, do you want to be amongst the Anglos? What's your religiosity? What kind of, like, do you need a place, like if you're working remotely, or do you need to be able to commute to work, which is very, very important. So we need public transport, or you're going to get a car, the affordability of the area. If you're going to be renting, what kind of rental opportunities are available, the social life, like what's going on in the community. Is there services for Olim? Is that important to you? What kind of availability is there socially for you and your family, and future growth, like what's going on in the area. And I always say, like Svi's doing, he's already here, but the best thing to do in anything, and if you can, is really to spend a Shabbat there. Now, if you're just buying for investment, it doesn't really matter because you're buying and you can rent it out and it will always appreciate. Very important to note, in Israel, you do not make money on your yield. In America, a lot of people have investment properties and they're renting them out and earning 7% yield a year. In Israel, that does not happen. You're looking at between 2 to 3%. Where do you make your money in Israel in real estate is on the appreciation. Things go up much more in Israel, I think, than anywhere else in the world. And just to give you, like, in Israel, in Jerusalem, some of the new developments that I was selling about 3 years ago have doubled in value. I started about 6 years ago promoting Karmei Gat, which is another fabulous community. And that area, apartments that we were selling houses for 1.3 million shekels are now going for 5 million shekels. So it's really seen a tremendous growth, that particular neighborhood. And I always say to people that the best thing you do is just get your foot in the door. It doesn't have to be perfect for an investment. If it's for Aliyah and community, that's a little bit different. Okay, next up. Costs of buying a home. So in Israel, it works a little bit differently. You have lawyers' fees, which are 1% plus VAT, which is 18%. We have realtors' fees. In Israel, a buyer and a seller both pay a realtor's fee, and that's 2% plus VAT. And then we've got purchase tax. Now, purchase tax, and this is a little bit different. If you're an Israeli, or if you are a new immigrant, or you are a foreign buyer. Foreign buyers off the bat are paying 8% plus, depending on the purchase price. If you're a new immigrant, 0.5%, depending on what the purchase price is, and it goes up accordingly. And I can discuss with people individually. You've also got mortgage broker fees, which are 1% of whatever money that you loan. And then also things like when you buy a property, you've got miscellaneous costs like you bring an engineer in to check out the property. There's, miscellaneous things, money transfers, which you can help you with as well. But in your head, if you are not making Aliyah and you are looking to purchase purely as an investment, you need to add on to the purchase price roughly 12% on top of the purchase price. Okay, next up. I'm sorry I'm rushing through this. I just don't want to be we're already over an hour. Okay, this is the beautiful community of Adam. So in the front, if you see the white, I can't point at my arrow over in the front, but the white house, Avrami is doing it, okay? This is all this new project that we are promoting called Nof Adam. And mostly the project is semi-detached houses and freestanding homes. So there are larger plots and all new construction. They've built phase 1, phase 2, and now they're selling phase 3. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay. So a little bit, we've spoken about it, and you can see this little map there. You can see how close we are to Jerusalem. Rami, if you just show on the cursor over there, there's Jerusalem's right there, Beit Shemesh. You are 10 minutes from French Hill and Ramat Eshkol area, very close to Pisgat Zev. Modin is 30 minutes away. Jerusalem again is about 15 minutes, right? Well, to French Hill, but central Jerusalem is about 15 minutes. The airport's about 40 minutes. Tel Aviv, again, about 50 minutes. And you can see it's very centrally located and very pretty. For those of you who don't know this area, it is absolutely stunning. I personally think so. It's just full of green. It is so pretty. And
mountains,
really,
the views.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
the views are absolutely
Yeah.
sensational here. If you appreciate nature and you want green space, this is definitely a place to look into. Okay, next up. Okay, and this is from what the research we've done and from the locals and the people that we've spoken to and our research. There's about 6,000 people living in Adam, and a lot more people moving in. It also is a place where a lot of people stay. So you'll have families that have lived there for many years and their kids actually stay in the community. Sometimes you find that in other areas they'll move out, but because it's affordable, and because it's a very warm community, people love to stay there. And you'll find families are staying there from one generation to another, which is really lovely. Again, a very big mix. I feel, like Miriam said, you can be who you want to be there, but it is a very nice melting pot of all different types of people. And again, the school system, I thought there was a high school, but I've been told there isn't. There's only elementary and kindergartens, and also different types of levels of religiosity. And lots of different open parks and playgrounds. And again, there are building, and especially with Avram and Sarah, who are taking this amazing initiative that the community and the municipality are willing to accommodate and come and really help build the infrastructure even more to welcome more families and more new Olim coming into Israel, which is very exciting. Yeah, Avraham, you
And
want to
our
say
goal
something?
would be to kind of really create a vibe, like to
already
this Torani shul centric community. Our goal would be to find like a few dozen families that would want to all settle together around the same time, and and that's when all of those things like getting help from the regional council and kind of having our own
Say,
Shul, community center.
Karlbach Minion, who knows what.
yeah, it's
Um,
really us. Yeah, we have
so
to
yeah,
work.
but
We'll build together like real
and it's
settlers.
contingent on finding the group of people that will all,
Like real settlers.
yes, settle with us together.
Okay, so which is pretty amazing. So what I think is incredible about the two of you is that you saw a need and you're trying to make it happen, which is an incredible initiative to do. So I'm calling them the community leaders of Adam now. So they are going to be the leaders spearheading and bringing more life and Anglos into this particular community. Okay, so next up on the slides. Okay, and Avrami's going to talk a little bit about the area because this, where the little arrow is the new development that we're talking about. And then Avrami, just show everybody where everything is.
Yeah. So basically, this is a map showing the services that the new area basically has. These are existing, but I believe that the more it grows, the more you'll have. So as you can see, this is where the new project is going to be. And you have the shul is here. Here you have a shopping center. This is the elementary school. This is the kindergarten, another school. Here you got like a whole sports section, so it'll be like I'm actually not sure exactly, but I'm assuming it's a few courts, maybe soccer, basketball, things like that. This is the Bnei Akiva area.
The youth
And
movement.
yeah, this is like a park with for kids, like slides, like the classic that. And then this is the town hall. So as you can see, it has like the basic necessities every like town needs. And I'm sure that it'll grow with time. And yeah, like we said earlier, high schools, people usually go, which isn't
To
too far.
Jerusalem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But the point of this little diagram is just to show you that the new project that we're promoting is very accessible to all the amenities in the neighborhood and already the community center. And hopefully we're going to build more as time goes along. Okay,
Lovely.
great. Okay, next up.
Second. There we go.
Okay, so this is just a sample, guys, of what the semi-detached houses are looking like. They are very nice, 4 bedrooms, approximately, I think it's 1,700 square feet, 153 square meters, with a very nice large garden. And there's an option, and we can talk about this. I don't exactly understand this part, but there is an option to expand another 40 square meters. I'm not sure if that is up, down, or to the side. I don't know where that is. And there's a flexible payment schedule. And this price now, again, there may be some flexibility, but they're asking 3.2 million shekels for these freestanding homes. Again, this is a new project. Could we find cheaper than this? Possibly, but this is just this particular opportunity that we are offering you. We like the builder. They have bank guarantees. It also gives you a runway, meaning that they have a flexible payment schedule according to one's budget. Each person is different, where you can put down between 10, 20%, and then the balance when you get the keys. So there's pros and cons to doing that. We can talk about that individually, but this is just a sample of one of the opportunities. Okay, next up. This is just a plan of showing you what a house looks like. You can see that, and sometimes, by the way, the floor plans are there to give you an idea. So you can most likely change. The only thing you cannot change is what's called your mamad, which is your security room, because they're all built the same. But there is flexibility in terms of moving things around, walls around. If you don't want something somewhere, you want a bigger bedroom, then you're able to do that. And this is a very, very nice building, a building plan. The builder is also excellent. And we can send you opportunities. Today was just a very informal, just to give you a little taste of what is available. Okay, next up, Avrami. Okay, and this is a freestanding house. Now you can see the price drop is a lot higher than this. Then it's 1 million shekels more, which is about $300,000 more for a 5-bedroom house with a much larger garden. And again, flexible opportunities with payments ready in 2029. So it's basically 4 years. It gives you a 4-way runway to pay this off. And we may be able to negotiate smaller plots. This is just generally what they gave us. What I mean is maybe some of the houses are slightly bigger, slightly smaller. depending on where and which section you buy in. But this is the average price, anything from 3.2 million shekels to 4.2 million shekels. Okay, and if anybody wants to scan my QR code, I'll just leave it on the screen for a moment. And you're welcome to be in touch. Oh, Vered's in. Hold on, Vered's are lost. Hold on, Vered's coming in. On 1 second to end off. Hold on a second.
So Vered.
Hi, Vered. Don't know if she can hear me. Vered? Let me see. Avrami, can you see if you can send her a message? She just came into the waiting room. I just let her in. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find her. Oh, Vered.
Okay, here we
Can you
go.
hear us?
I can
Hi,
hear you.
Vered. Hi, how are you?
Can you see me?
We can see you. How are you?
Great. I see the barcode. Hi,
Great.
Kim.
Okay, good. We can, yeah, that was just us leaving it on for anybody who wants to contact me after this Zoom call. Avrami, I think we can take it off if you want.
Okay.
Great. Vered, thank you so much for coming on. I know you had other commitments as well. Also, parents teachers meeting tonight.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, we have a great school here.
Amazing. So you are Israeli, correct?
Right. I was born here. I guess I'm a little Anglo, but my husband is Israeli, so we don't really speak English at home. We try.
But your English is so good.
Yeah, I grew up in an English-speaking house.
Oh, okay. So your parents
So I missed
American?
the whole thing, but maybe you want to ask me questions. Maybe that would be better.
Well, we're taking, you're our last, like we're ending off, the finale is now. So we're just talking about, I was introducing myself earlier. I started the series called Find Me a Community in Israel. We have the wonderful Avraham, David and Sarah who are trying to build Adam and bring more people to the community. And part of the Zoom call is just to introduce people to the possibility of looking to move to the community. So just give us a little lowdown on you and your family and a little bit about the community.
So we moved to Adam 20 years ago when the community was young, I would say. And I think we grew into Adam and Adam grew us, and we grew together. So one of the big things we did in Adam is opening a Mamad Torani school, which is a religious school. Though anyone could come learn in Ahavat Torah, that's the name of the school, which means Adam is a very mixed community as a yeshuv. It's not a yeshuv that's only Dati or only Masorti. It's very mixed. We have Masorti, Dati, Chiloni, Haredi. It's like a very big neighborhood in Jerusalem. I say that Adam has lots of communities. I call it in Hebrew Kehila shel Kehilot. So there are a lot of Kehilot. And the school is a community, Kehilat Ahavat Torah. When the school does a lot of activities in Panim LaKehila, such as next week we have Boker Slichot. The parents come down at 6:30 and there's Slichot with the kids, and then the fathers could stay for a minyan. It's very connecting. To tell you that 100% of the parents come, no, but whoever feels that it's for them important, they come, and all the kids come early that day, and then they get the shokol lachmania and they leave. They come home at 10. They're very happy about this day. It's like something very special in the year, and around the years there are a few things that the school does im hapanim lakeila. So that's about the school. We established the Bnei Akiva snif. I could show you a madricha, she's cutting and pasting in her Bnei Akiva placer just right now.
Hello.
So once again, Bnei Akiva is open to everyone, and it's ממש כאילו מי שמגיע ברוך הבא. כמובן there's standards. You cannot bring a telephone to Bnei Akiva on Shabbos. and nobody's going to check if you're really Shomer Shabbos on Shabbos in your house if you want to come to Bnei Akiva, okay? But there are standards at the snif. The snif is shvatim nifradim, like boys and girls nifrad, but the tzevet works together. And we have a kommunarit, which is a bat shirut. That's about the snif Bnei Akiva. There are ganim datiim, there are kindergartens here. I don't have kids in kindergarten anymore, but I think there are 3 or 4 ganim datiim today. And that's about like community thing, like dvarim she'ata tzorech. I don't know how to say that in English. That you consume. Besides that, there are the shuls. So there is an Ashkenazi shul, and there's a Sephardi shul, and there's a Moroccan shul, and there's a Chabad shul. And I could tell you also, like me and my husband, my name, as you see, is Vered Matalon. Matalon is a Sephardi family name, but we daven in the Ashkenazi shul all year round, and then for the Chagim we disappear. We go and daven in the Sephardi shul, and there are a lot of families like us, and vice versa. Like, so there's something very nice about Adam, that you could be yourself, and wherever you want to fit in, you will fit in. Also, another thing I could say about Adam, there's no standards. If you decide you're doing a bar mitzvah with no kiddush, that's fine. If you decide you're doing a bar mitzvah with a wow kiddush, that's fine. If you decide, it's mamash, something I think very unique about the community here. What else could I say about Adam? It's great weather. I don't know where you're all from, but it's very close to Yerushalayim, so the climate is just a little colder at night. And there's a beautiful view. If you have a house that turns to the view. And it's very close. Like, we're mamash at Jerusalem, but mitzad sheni, we're on a yeshuv. It's very quiet at night. There's no lots of buses, or it's kilum. When I sleep in Jerusalem once in a blue moon, I don't sleep all night because it's too noisy for me. So that's that. And I don't know if you spoke about traffic. Everybody wants to know about traffic. Yes, there is traffic. Since we have the road that leads to Adam, or leads to Yerushalayim, is either 1 or 2 lanes, so it's very small. And then if it's peak hour, then it gets traffic, just gets backed up. But mamash these days, if you drive to Adam, you will see tractors on both sides of the road. They're expanding it. I don't know how many it's going to take, but it's going to be 3 lanes to each way. And one of the lanes is going to be a natatz, nativ tachbura tziburit. So if you get on public transportation, chick-chack, you'll be in Yerushalayim. I could also say Sha'ar Binyamin has been very much developed. I mean, when we moved here, there was nothing there. And there's a shopping center, there's a medical center there. I always say you have everything there except the bank, and you don't really need a bank today because you can do everything on your phone. So really everything is local. And what else can I say? And there are these beautiful houses that are been built, or they're on paper or whatever. But
what do you do? What do you do, Vered?
Oh, I'm a pediatric dentist.
Oh, okay. And you work from Adam?
No, I drive into Yerushalayim, and I also have a few days in Bamerkaz in Ramat Gan in Tel Aviv.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get around.
Cool.
Yeah.
You get around. And your kids are big now, so do they go to high school in Jerusalem? Where do they go?
Right. So I only have one kid studying in Adam this year, which is very, very, it's like a whole change for me. So the boys in Kita Zayin, they're automatically led into Chativa in Beit El, which is called Bnei Binyamin. It's supposed to be a very good school. We just started it, and my son is very happy. And you could go through there until Yud Bet. And if you don't like it, I mean, there's other yeshivas. Yerushalayim is very close, so Yerushalayim has a lot of options for boys. On the girls' end, so they have a chativa in Ofra. There's a very big ulpana in Ofra, which is well known. So lots of girls go there. There's also an Ulpana in Beit El, which is a very, very good option, a little more considered frummy. And there is an Ulpana in Psagot, which is considered even more frum. And my girls learned there for Zayin Chet, for the Chativa, but then they moved to the Ulpana in Kochav Yaakov. Besides that, in Yeshuvei Binyamin, there's Ulpanas for girls also in Shiloh, also in Ma'ale Levona. So there are lots of options. I mean, everyone finds there. Oh, and also in Neve Tzuf and Shirat Hayam. So there are really lots of options for girls in Binyamin. About the boys, this year they opened something new in Kochav HaShachar, which is a Tichon Dati. It's now starting to be something new that the parents don't like the dormitories anymore. So they opened a Tichon Dati for Banim. So the kids, they bus every day back and forth, but they sleep at home.
So that's
And-
about what? How far is it? We talking 15, 20 minutes away or
Well,
longer?
that's if you drive it. But if there's a Hasa'ah that picks up kids on the way, it takes double the time.
Okay.
Yeah, Hasa'ot is not ideal, but that's how it is. I mean, there's nothing, nobody drives their kid. They get on Hasa'ot. Yeah.
Okay. I can't thank you enough for coming on. I know how busy you are. So thank you so
I know,
much.
Bekef, I hope I gave you enough information.
Everybody that's come on is so warm and friendly. It's so nice.
Oh, Hashem.
I wish my Hebrew was as good as your English.
So,
Anyway,
that
but
was a
Vera, thank
compliment.
you
Thank
so,
you.
so much for coming on. And if it's okay with you, obviously we're not going to display your number, but if anybody wants to be in touch with you personally, is that okay?
Besimcha, I'm not, you can find me on 144. I'm not chasui. So,
And their
no
food is
problem.
fabulous.
And Jumbaya.
Thank you so much and Shana Tova.
Besimcha, Shana
appreciate it.
Tova, Achlatot Tovot. We would love to see you. We're expanding
Amazing.
our community. Yofi. Kol tov.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Later.
Avra, thank you. Shana Tova. Avraham and Sarah, I'm going to ask you just to say a last closing, whatever you want, and then I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay, fantastic. So, you've heard there's to hear, you've seen what there's to see, but the future is in all of our hands. We are looking for these families. We are looking for you guys and your friends and your family to really build something lasting,
warm.
a place where you will always have, a shal shudis to sing at and a warm table, and come join us.
Built off of already what they already made, all the people. And
Right, they've built such a beautiful community, and we're coming.
Something really beautiful. And we
It
just
sounds, by the way, it's so, I've done these calls, I've spoken to so many people over the years, and I just think it sounds very, even only speaking to 3 couples, but just very special, very warm. And I think with the 2 of you looking to do what you want to do, I think it can only enhance the community. So that's very exciting. And again, those of you who don't know Avram David and Sarah, if you came on through their group, great, reach out to them. And if not, I'm happy to connect you. And for anybody who's going to be coming to Israel in the near future and you want to do a tour up in Adam, we can arrange it as well. And if you're just looking for an investment or just to even figure it out with us, we can do a private Zoom call about those properties and possibly other opportunities coming in the near future. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to stay on for another 5 minutes. If anybody has, it's going to be an open, Zoom. If anybody wants to ask questions, you're more than welcome to come on and ask. Avram, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, you mentioned that the construction of Nofei Adam is going to be taking 4 years. From what we understood, it'll be ready in about 2 years. No.
It's depending on which phase you buy in. So right now, there's phase 1, 2, and phase 3. The most opportunities that we have for sale right now on phase 3. Okay. So 1 and 2, there may be a few left for sale, but the majority of another 30 homes are being built in phase 3. Okay. So we would have to look for you. These things are selling like hotcakes because again, it's affordable, the community is wonderful, and
Your
people are
investment is
really
huge.
looking for that
Is
extra
there an
space
option
and
to
to be in the
rent?
community. There is rentals available. You can speak to me afterwards. We can connect you with an agent that's there. I'm not going to tell you I know the prices because I really, really don't. But I'm happy to connect you, and so is Avram and Sarah, to a rental agent.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And again, I'm on if anybody wants to take the opportunity. Avrami, you want to say something?
No, I was just saying like thank you and goodbye kind of thing.
Avrami is unfortunately in Canada, everybody. He's
Yeah.
studying in Canada. We got to bring, but he is Israeli, so he's coming home
Yes.
soon. But he is studying right now
It's
in
a temporary thing.
just to get out of that weather, just to be in Israel is like, Canada's great, but the
Yeah.
weather's not great.
Yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
rent, it's including this
Definitely something you need to
the
get used
new
to.
properties.
No, the rental, what we're doing with the new properties are only for sale.
Okay.
Again, we have to look, I don't even know what the rental prices are, but this is all for buying. I mean, maybe in a couple of years they will be available to renting, but not at the moment.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure, Esty. Good luck.
Thank you.
Who's still on?
We're going.
Anybody want to say hello? Benjamin?
Oh, 1 second, be quiet.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to ask about the drive from Jerusalem. Is it along the wall? Does the drive feel safe by public?
The
And
drive
what
feels
about
safe. I was there.
driving car?
I was driving on that road today, the 443, if I'm correct. Abraham? Oh, he disappeared. He's gone already. Okay. I don't feel it's unsafe, but I mean, when you live in Israel, you just do what you do. It doesn't feel unsafe. It's a very busy road. As they said before, they're extending the road. There'll be 3 lanes in each direction.
Is that the
There's
437 or different road?
I think it's is it the 443? I think that's what it's called, the 4. Svi, do you know?
I'm looking now. Give me 1 second.
It's a 443. I think it's a 4. I was on the road today.
I don't see. I'm looking on Google Maps. I see 437 from the Hizma.
Maybe hold on 1 second.
Yeah, it's the 437 through.
Oh, 437.
Yeah,
That's
sort of
the road
bypassing
from
Pisgah.
Modin, right?
Looks like from Pisgat Zev.
Pisgat Zev, yeah, it intersects. I'm getting confused with the road numbers. Sorry. I just do what Waze tells me to do.
Right, so it goes through
at
Pisgat
night,
Zev,
it's
goes
like-
around Fisma and straight into
Right. And what about driving at night?
I think it's okay.
What about your wife?
My wife grew up in Ma'ale Adumim, so it's actually one of the things that's attracting us to Adam, the fact that I work in Yerushalayim, my wife's family is from Ma'ale Adumim. And yeah, I've served around that checkpoint, but I'm very comfortable driving there.
Okay, thank you.
Listen, it's the same as being in a frat as well. I listen, God willing, everything will be good, but we're surrounded everywhere you go. Again, if it's something that you're afraid of, then it may not be for you. Then you have to stay to the regular hubs.
Right.
We just want to know what it is to be.
Yeah, I get
We
it
have
though,
to know
but I
what it
mean,
is, if we're afraid of it or not.
the truth is, listen, anything can happen anywhere. You're looking and look what happened in Ramot last week. I have at least 6 or 7 families that I know from Asia Torah that moved there. Right by, there was one of my friends that was actually driving her car when, this situation happened right by the bus stop where they were. So you can be in Ramot, which is, it's a safe area and anything can happen. So I don't necessarily think you're putting yourself in danger. That's all I'm saying to you. I think that there's enough people living in the community. But again, you guys have to feel comfortable.
In terms
It's
of
hard to
the
say.
actual community, is there a gate, is it walled in? Is there a gate or it's just
There's like a security a checkpoint. I think there's a what's it called, like a boom security boom thing when you go in and out. But there is like a community what do you call it?
There's like a community Shomer patrol.
Watch, community
Right.
watch.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
community watch. There's also it is surrounded. There's also a guard there, from what I understand.
So this project is at the top portion. Assuming there are views there, is there potential that 5 years from now they build even further north and they block the views, or is that like a valley?
As far as I know, it's a valley. However, I want to tell you this is rule of thumb in anywhere in Israel right now. Don't ever guarantee, a view is never guaranteed anywhere. I mean, that's just a reality of wherever they can build, they're going to build. But as far as I know, this is the last phase of this particular development. So I do not believe there's anything going on in front of it. But I can just give you, just because I want to, real estate in this country is, I had a client that bought in downtown Jerusalem. And I don't know if when you were here, whoever lives here knows, but the whole city is changing. It's insane how many towers are going up along Derech Hebron. You've got 30 floors going up. It's like, it's there's a joke. What's the national bird of
Crane.
Israel? The crane. Yeah. So it's you can stand. I was looking at one of my clients' apartments. Just looking straight ahead, there were 12 cranes in front of me, and that wasn't going left or right. So it's insane. But so what happened was we sold an apartment downtown to somebody with a beautiful view of Har Habayit. You saw the dome you saw the whole whatever. And we looked into it because it was very important for them to know that that view wasn't going to be blocked. So we looked into it with the lawyers, and the building in front had applied a few years ago to build up, and they had been declined. So we thought, green light, it's not a problem. We looked into it, the lawyers looked into it, we did it, everything's fine, until 2 years later, they reapplied for the permits. But we've done our due diligence, the property's been sold, the people have moved in, nobody knows. And then the people who took, like they did it very quickly and didn't tell anybody, and they got approval to build 2 more floors. And that was after us doing our due diligence to make sure that nothing was happening in front of this building. So I'm saying things are changing all the time in areas. But I do believe that this particular area, because the zoning in Adam is it's a yeshuv, you're not going to get high rises, okay? You're going to get maximum, they're usually 3 to 4 floors. Some of the buildings, like that couple Perry spoke, they have, I think, on the top, and they have people are below them. These are all very small boutique style developments.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a frat, although a frat now is actually getting more buildings, and you've got smaller buildings like 6, 7 floors now in a frat, which you never used to have, which is interesting. But I just think for bang for buck, these areas, to buy a house in Jerusalem, it's not affordable. You just can't. The prices are so crazy and so insane. Today I went with friends of mine, to look in Zichron Yaakov because they're looking to buy something in Zichron, and I know Zichron very well, but I wanted to go with them because they're good friends of mine and they wanted my opinion. But like beautiful homes there with glorious views. They are, I would say, the same size house in Zichron Yaakov in Jerusalem. What you would get there for 5 million shekels, you'd pay about 12 or 13 in Jerusalem. So that's just a reality. I mean, Svi, even in Malo Adumim, right? The prices have gone crazy.
Yeah, and now they're actually starting a bunch of high rises there as well.
I
Even
know.
even after a lot of community opposition. My in-laws' views, they had their views for about close to 30 years, and now they have no views. They had a beautiful
Really?
Yeah.
It's
It is sad. It is sad, but
But
listen.
I know
it's
it's
the reality.
reality, but still sad.
If you want, you guys don't know me, but I always preach, and I'm sorry if it's a little preachy, but I'm very much religious, not religious. I come from a completely secular background, but I'm very much into the fact that at the moment Hashem is closing down the diaspora, and I really feel in my, like with what's going on, with everything going on in the world right now, there's only one place for a Jew to be, and that's Eretz Israel. And I say that very loud and very proud. And for those of you who don't like it, I'm so sorry, but that's just the way it is. And we're seeing it everywhere. We're talking about you cannot, and I tell people, if you cannot walk around with a Magen David around your neck or a kippah on your head, why are you living in that community? Why are you there? You know, like if you can't be a Jew, physically look like a Jew, I just don't feel what you know, we were just now, I'm sure you've seen what's going on in Greece, and there was just an incident recently, but we went to Greece, the amount of hate and anti-Semitism, and I'm not a person that gets afraid. I'm quite a tough cookie. But let me tell you, it was intimidating. It was intimidating to walk around with all this graffiti and these people wearing these free Gaza, and I was actually quite rebellious. I went and bought myself a permanent marker. And every time I saw a sign that said Free Palestine, I said to my daughter, cover me. And I would scratch out the Palestine and free the hostages.
Oh.
I was being very rebellious, but they beat up people. I mean, today I think, or yesterday, somebody got beaten up there. It's getting harder to be a Jew in Chutz La'aretz, basically, and out of Israel. So whether we like it or not, this is eventually where people are going to end up. Whether it's the plan to come now in a couple of years, I say to everybody, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And yes, the prices are expensive, but let me tell you something now. In 3 years' time, in 4 years' time, in 5 years' time, it's going to get even more expensive. Only, huh?
I just don't know how people are going to afford it because it's just crazy.
Well, it is, but they are, you know, I had a client that called me and said to me she inherited some money, and her dream is to come to Israel, and she's going to come as soon as her oldest has finished high school, and she had 700,000 shekels to spend. It was like 200 at the time, $200,000. I don't even remember what the currency was, the exchange rate was at the time. And I said to her, I don't even know. You can't buy a garage. What are you going to do with 700,000? Long story short, I phoned a friend of mine who's a fantastic realtor up in Tiberias. And I said, I've got this lady. She needs to buy something. Do you have anything possible? And we found her something. It was actually, she needed 50,000 shekels more. It was 750,000 shekels. It was a 2-bedroom apartment in Tiberias. It did not look great, guys. I'm being honest. It wasn't great. It was but she bought it, and she's got a rent in there. The person was happy to stay. It was an old, what's called a stucco shikun building, those old buildings. But for her, and you know what the ironic thing now is that whole area has been redeveloped. So she's going to get probably a brand new building for at least 3 times the price of what she paid for it. But that's what I'm saying. It's all about opportunities, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And you cannot, and I stress this to every single one of you still on the call with me, you cannot copy paste your life from wherever you're living to Israel. It doesn't work. You have to reframe it. You have to understand that your dining room table in Chutz La'aretz is not going to necessarily fit in the apartment that you're going to buy in Israel or rent in Israel. Things are different here.
New ones.
Maybe in the new ones. But what I'm saying to you is that it's just different. It's just different. And you have to adjust your thinking accordingly, because it just is not the same. But I believe it's all about reframing and attitude. And there's no place like feeling like you belong. And even when I travel, and I travel a lot on business, when I touch down at Ben Gurion, there's that feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm home. I really feel that. As cliche as it is, there's nothing better than being amongst your own people. It's just the way that it is. And I would never live anywhere else. So if you're not living here yet, you've got to think seriously about it. So
Questions. Just looking at on Google or Bing Maps, it looks like there's like Adam and then almost like a gap and then more buildings. That middle area, is that being developed? Like what is
that's also being developed eventually. That's in permit stage. I actually don't know what's going on in that area. I know what you're talking about, but there's probably going to be more housing eventually in that area. Everywhere you go, there's extensions and things happening. I mean, I don't know if any of you know, like Ramat Beit Shemesh, for example.
Yes.
30 years ago, Ramat Beit Shemesh was nothing. I mean, you can't believe the expansion and the areas that it's just unbelievable what is going on in that neighborhood. And Givat Zev even, and Piskat Zev, and everywhere you go is just building and building and building and building. And you know, it's always going to be expensive. It's just making a decision and putting, I think Aliyah is both feet in. You know, you can't have one foot out. It's got to be, I'm going to come and make it work for myself. And maybe this community at Dam is not for you. You know, maybe there's other, we can talk privately, but maybe there's other opportunities that you can look at that may be good for you. I'm very into affordable housing and trying to figure out where we can build more. And that's part of, you know, yes, I told people, yes, I sell real estate, but for me, more importantly than anything else is community. That is what I do. And I found my purpose in this world. This is what I do. And I help a lot with Nefesh B'Nefesh and consulting people of really where they should fit in. But it's hard. It's not easy. Jerusalem's very complicated, has like different religion, like for the different groups and where to be. But I would say that if you want Jerusalem, I don't think there's any affordable area. If you're looking at $1 million, you can't buy anything for $1 million in Jerusalem. In terms of a house, you can. It's small 2 or 3 bedroom apartments. But if you want a house, no ways. Not affordable. So you have to look out the area. However, if that's a part, like for me, I'm all about location. I would rather live in a smaller property and be where I want to be. So I chose to live in the old city, which is a little bit crazy anyway. And in my first few years, we had 4 boys in one room. And I'm South African. We're used to big houses. Okay, we have big homes. It's just a different. It's up here. It's all about adapting and changing and reframing. But I absolutely love where I live. So you know that's going to be something that you guys, you know, want to do. But it's a bigger conversation, and I really, really think that if you can get and you can come and actually see places with your own eyes, it's so much better. Spend a Shabbos, get to meet the people, go to look at the schools. Huh?
We're coming. We're not. Yeah, the schools are not so important because we're just our oldest, our youngest is hopefully graduating in years.
By the time we move, he'll be out of high school. So schools are not an issue for us.
But let other people talk. 'Cause we're not allowed.
No, I don't know if anybody wants to talk. They're enjoying listening to your story.
I don't even know what I'm saying, everyone.
Well, let me ask you then. So the 8% for
Foreign buyers.
if we make Aliyah within half a year of when we get the keys, then that goes away, right?
You have, I think within 2 years, you can get like a refund. Oh, I think also that we can talk to a lawyer about. You may not have to pay it until, I think if the project is like, if you've paid up to 50% before, I don't know, we can talk about that. It's a little bit of a gray area. Svi may know better than me even for that.
Yeah, so I could say that once you have your approval letter for Aliyah, you could use that. You could also defer. There are many options available. What you could do, it's just a matter of which lawyer you're working with as to which specific track you're going to take. But there are times that it's 1 year, there are times that's 2 years, times that's 18 months. If you're within half a year, absolutely you're not going to be paying the foreign purchase tax. You're going to be paying the purchase tax as an Oleh Hadash, which is highly beneficial because.
But is that time period from when the project is ready and you get the key, or from when you sign the contract now for something ready in 4 years?
Again, it's I wish
It's a
I could
gray
give you-
area. It's a
Yeah,
gray area.
Okay.
It's a gray area, but Kim knows all the lawyers, and she is very adept at sending the right lawyer to the right situation. So with your specific situation, there are ways to work it out to ensure that you won't pay tax.
Yeah. Or minimum, you'll get a refund along the way. But the thing is that because I'm seeing such, what I'm trying to tell people, and it's not a sales pitch, it's just when you're on the ground and you've been in the business for 16 years already, and you've seen the climb in the prices, you'd think to yourself, it's not going to get any higher. And then it does. And you're like, how? I mean, even the prices in Adam, by the way. I mean, this is a very high quality project that we're selling. Okay, you can get cheaper. For sure, you can get cheaper. But even in those areas, the prices have climbed up. So I just think that some people are like, oh, we'll wait to see what happens when we make Aliyah. I say, don't wait. Even if you bought something and moved there and it's not good for you, you can sell it and you'll make money. There's no, everything goes up in value. I mean, Svi, am I correct in saying that? I mean, I think so.
Yeah, I haven't had anything that goes down. You mentioned Carmegat. In hindsight, I should have bought a couple there. I should have. There's no place.
That's what I said to myself when I first started 6 years ago. I couldn't believe the prices of those places. We've sold so much real estate in Carmegat. But now it's become very expensive.
Mhm.
It's become much more expensive. You can't buy a house there for 3.2 million shekels. You can buy an apartment now. Before
Correct.
you could buy a house. Now you can't.
I
So
live in Bet
There
Shemesh,
is a
and
ton of
every single
construction.
year,
It's
every
not selling
single
as
there's a
year
it did.
it increases 2, 3, 400,000 shekel.
yeah. What were you saying, Benjamin? What were you saying?
There's a ton of construction, and it seems like it's not selling as fast as it was. So it does seem to be slowing down a little.
No, it's selling. It's trust me, we're selling. I mean, and I'm not the only broker that's selling there. There's tons. I mean, it's not a lot of the stuff is not reported, you know, in general on the text. You can't always see what gets sold. But for example, I have an investor now who's looking to buy. Okay, we'll go to Ashkelon, for example. They're rockets, right?
Yeah.
The prices in Ashkelon don't go down. You're close to the border. You think it's going down in price? Forget it. People are buying, but an investor looking to buy 12 apartments there now. Not for his kids, for his grandchildren, because he sees a future. You know, he's like, I'm not going to put my money back. He's actually English as well. I'm not going to put my money into England and invest in England. I'm going to take the money. I mean, Ashkelon's another example, but it's apartments. We've got great 3-bedroom apartments of 1.6 million shekels. What were you saying?
Not moving to Ashkelon. I'm just letting him know.
Oh, I love Ashkelon. I love
You know,
it.
we need
It's
to
so
be
beautiful.
we're also very English speaking, so we need to be near centers where we can work. You know, he's tech, you know, whatever therapist. So we need to be, you know, in proximity to those kind of centers.
Yeah, yeah. But any of these Yeshuvim, you've got to understand, you know, where you are. It's very important to understand. And if safety is a big concern, I would never tell somebody to move somewhere if they felt unsafe. You know, like people going to the Gush, like driving to Efrat. When I drove to Efrat the other day, there's 2 entrances into Efrat. So I wasn't concentrating and I took the first exit. And then I realized I had turned into the area where I probably shouldn't have turned into, but there was military there. It wasn't that I was in danger because they wouldn't let me go further anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? It was, I just think, oh, shoot. And then I just did a U-turn and turned the other way around. And that can happen anywhere. I've done in the old city, gone Wadi Joe's on the backside on the East Jerusalem, and nearly honestly had a heart attack because I thought, oh my gosh. And this is like in my neighborhood. So
it's always fun in that bumper to bumper traffic when you're like in the wrong neighborhood and you're like, nothing's moving.
Yeah, and the hills are like this.
Yeah, that's always fun.
well, I'm just taking off my scarf and wrapping it around the other way around. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, so actually when I was in Greece now, my kids were like, you have to change. You can't wear this thing on your head. You have to wear a wig, a sheitel or something. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But she said it was okay because a lot of the Muslims look exactly like me. So it's okay. It was okay. Not a problem at all.
You look Jewish, it's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, not a problem at all. Does anybody else have questions? Anyway, just to give those who are on, we are going to carry on doing the series now because I've had so many people ask me to carry, and we may do some repeats. I think the next neighborhood we actually going to be doing is Beersheba. Again, why Beersheba? Because I also believe we did Beersheba a few years ago, tremendous growth. There's a new army base. The main huge army base is I don't know what they're doing there, but they're revitalizing the whole area. Students are there. It's a big student town. It's also got a very nice community. My son's living there now, which I never thought he would be, but he's down there. And the prices are so much cheaper. I'm not saying that I want to live in Beersheba, but I think for people it could be an interesting option. It's got we drive there once a week to see my son. It's an hour and a half. There's excellent buses, there's trains, and very nice apartments, big apartments there. But I'm very into being, you know, personal and having relationships with everybody. So everybody on this call can feel free to reach out to me and have a one-on-one with me. And I'm going to say goodnight because my husband's going to kill me because I said I was only going to be on the call for an hour. Anyway,
this is amazing. This is amazing work that you do. The fact that
thank you
you're
so
able
much.
to for people to see that there are bigger cities out there, especially for Olim, that are
think it's
beyond the
very
traditional ones
important.
is super important. And I'm encouraging my people to see beyond The
You ha- I
renowned
think
Bet
you,
Shemesh Netanya, Jerusalem.
yeah. And if anybody's interested in a new beach town, if it's purely investment and not coming to live here, they may want to look at places like Hadera now, Givat Olga, or Akiva. Israel is stunning. There is so many incredible places that, you know, that are a little bit more, they're still expensive, but so much more affordable. Like Ir Yamim, you know, like that's a new hotspot. I'm sure, Benjamin, you guys, a lot of the Brits are moving to Ir Yamim, Netanya area. When these were being sold from the developer, when they came to meet with me originally years ago, you could buy a luxury apartment facing the beach, full on sea view, front row, for 3.2 million shekels. And it was 100 and maybe 135 square meters. That same apartment now is about 9 or 10 million shekels. And that's right on the beach. But there's so many more areas. There's another area called it's a new Park Hayam, I think it's called. There's all these new areas, these pockets of new areas that are just expanding from Netanya, south, north, wherever you are, that are much more affordable and beautiful. And I love Hadera, that whole area, Givat Olga. If you are adventurous and don't mind traveling, Nahariya is magnificent, absolutely beautiful. So those are great beach town opportunities as well. And if you want a bigger house and you also want to be up north, Carmiel is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. It's just far. It's just further up. For me, a value for anybody looking is transportation. Transportations is like key. You have to be on a train line. You have to have a bus line. The rest you can figure out. But now they're expanding everywhere. I mean, just where I'm in the old city, I don't know if any of you know this, but they are actually extending the train from Tel Aviv. Is going to have a stop all the way to the old city, as well as to like Talpiot area, the German colony. I'm talking about the train that goes to Ben Gurion Airport, not the tram. So they're really trying to make, you know, less people driving, basically, and more using transportation, public transport. Anyway, I bid you all a good night, a Laila Tov, and we should have our hostages, Mirza Hashem, home. And our soldiers should be protected, and we should just all be safe. And I give you all a blessing for a good Shana Tova, a sweet new year, and a Mirza Hashem to come back home, because we're waiting for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Good night, everybody. Laila Tov. Good night.